Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna give it a couple of minutes here and get this started. All right, guys. So I wanted to do well, first of all, I wanted to do a video because I haven't done a video. It's got to be at least a couple of weeks. I think I made a couple of videos and it was just me complaining about being bored in the game and that there was nothing to do. And so I deleted those. I didn't even upload them. I think there was actually some good information. Hanukkah, I don't like to complain. Um, so I deleted them. There wasn't that much to it, but I'm really curious because on our server, it seems like a lot of people are just getting into a lot of just big stupidity because they're really bored at the state of the game right now. There's really not that much to do. And I really just want to have a conversation with everyone about what they think of this arc. I think the pros are it was really relatively free to play. Getting the crew was relatively easy. That's exactly what it is. Mine, and mine. It was relatively easy to get Sulu and Bones. And we got the worms, and we started doing PvP every weekend, and PvE events. But I kind of felt like there was something drastically missing. I kind of felt like the worms should have been giving some sort of loot leading into something. And considering that they only have the regular resources, and it would have been nice because they were so difficult to get crew that were specifically designed to take down these worms. Because I think it was, for me, a level 37 I have to hit, because the moment I hit that level 38, it's like completely destroyed. Yeah, they are pretty useless and overpowered. And I mean, let's talk about Star Trek lore here. We don't know what these worms are. They have nothing to do with the original Doomsday Machine. The missions, which I definitely want to talk about the missions. The missions, I believe they were talking about the Doomsday weapon or machine being alive, and it was never alive. It was a machine that was built. And so I'm really curious how these worms are detaching themselves from this device that may or may not be alive. I think as much as we dislike the ship, and Scopely, to their defense, they didn't release a useless ship that we had to work on. And I think that might be part of the core content that we're missing. We didn't have a ship to work on to build our way up to hunt these worms. And we probably, or I would say we might get that in Arc 3 or 4. Panic was a little vague on that information. I'm glad everyone can see that. think was based on the life from in the game. Sorry. Okay. So, but going back to the actual content, I just felt like that was missing. And this definitely is not an ask of Scopely to introduce a ship like the Discovery, where at tier 8, my Spore Drive, I had to spend 185 million titanium. That is not something we want. However, if you go back to the Stella, I think it was such a great ship and arc that they designed with the Stella. And we really want to go back to that. We don't want to invest our G3. We don't want to invest our G4 because we have so much that requires that in the game. However, bringing a ship into the game isn't the issue for us. For us, it is really the resources that we have to spend to upgrade that ship. The G3, the G4, the dilithium, and that titanium, the ship XP, all things like that. Those are things we don't have a luxury to spend on a ship that, and Psionica, I agree, Outlaws is the best arc content to date. And I think there's a lot to be said about the arc, considering it is still played to this date. I mean, you log into the game and people are just grinding those Eclipse Armadas like crazy because it's this great free to play economy that was built. And that research tree, I don't know anyone who has finished it for their level. I think I have like 22 researches on my Stella done. Nowhere near uh nowhere near completing, nowhere near like even hitting to the middle of that, which is great. It is really allowing us to not really spend so crazy and just playing it as it comes along. When there isn't really anything to do, people will run even more armadas. So really replicating that and really making it worth our time. The downside to that has been, it's going to be another research tree. Do we want another research tree? And I don't think I'm so much opposed to another research tree, considering the Cronus traders are kicking my butt. I would love some PvE research, some additional stuff where I can take them down much easier than I can now because it is not going well for me. You know, building something like that I think would be great. The issue is when we're expected to spend on this ship and we're expected to spend on resources to upgrade this ship, and then we do that and it's really not usable. I mean, if we take a look at the Discovery arc, there's many problems with that. There's a lot of problems with the Discovery arc. It was so in, it was such an incredible paywall. I know, Psionica, you had many issues with that and you were very upset. Um but here's the problem. Like, I now have a tier 8 Discovery. There is an issue with Scopely that is not triggering the Discovery refinery events until we say something in the official Scopely Discord. And I don't understand why we have to consistently remind Scopely to drop this event, to drop enough tokens so we can go into the refinery. We get enough for 4 days. Then after those 4 days, we're out. And they're not putting another event in place until we have to go back and remind them. I feel like we're working for Scopely in this regard. Scopely should not be doing this, considering how expensive it is to upgrade the USS Discovery. A lot of us like the portability. That's great. But for a lot of free-to-play players, they rely on those tokens to get their badges to upgrade their ships. And I think I think Scopely has a lot of balls to charge as much as they did for the Discovery and continue to do so through upgrade costs to not have a consistent event for us to get those refinery tokens. I think it's a very simple ask on the part of the gamers to get that done. And I really don't understand what the issue is behind that. And so, that is definitely not something we want in any arcs coming up. Hey, Riker, what's going on? We don't want to have to continue to remind Scopely to do their job. That's the problem. Like, we are your customer. We are spending a lot of money on your game because I did figure out Scopely does have a very, very small active player base compared to a lot of games of this type. Oh, it's very small. Um, and I mean, treat us like those customers. We are spending a lot of money on your product. We should not be telling you to do your job and activate an event for something we spent money on. That is incredibly aggravating. So there's my little rant with that about the discovery event. But going back to the toss event, I really feel like yeah. And Sionica brings up a good point. The high price of the pack scares off players, and Scopely, is very smooth with that and doesn't really introduce expensive packs at first. However, the problem is the word of mouth. If a gamer is taking a look at Star Trek Fleet Command, they are not just going. They typically don't just go ahead and download the game. They're going to check Reddit. They're going to check Facebook. They're going to check Twitter. They're going to talk to the gamers actively playing it. They're going to go to the YouTube channels and find out what is the pain. And I can tell you right now, every single video is going to mention spending. And that's not to say that mobile games don't do spending. Mobile games are all about spending, but there is just a different way of how other developers choose to do it than what Scopely does. But that's just the way it is. I'm just the kind of consumer. I don't mind spending money on something I enjoy. I don't mind spending money on something that gives me levels of entertainment. But because I'm spending, I expect a level of service. If I don't get that level of service, I'm just going to go somewhere else. And if somebody who is thinking about playing this game watches this video, they're probably going to say, well, yeah, why is that not happening? Why would I download this game if all of these people are unhappy with it? So, rant aside, that it is what it is. So, with the toss event, it was just incredibly, I just felt like it was kind of a standstill. So I just wanted to ask a lot of people their thoughts on the current arc. What are they hoping for in the upcoming arc? And, honestly, if Scopely introduces a ship for me, I'm fine with that. But if it needs a single one of G3 or G4 or Tritanium or Dilithium, that's the deal breaker for us. Now, I will say Scopely has started to release more and more resources into the game because they did mention in one of their updates that they do want to get the players up to level 40. And I think that is great. And I think part of that issue is, well, they need those players that are sitting in the level 20s to move up to continue to feed the whales. Because as content is getting dropped, those whales are going to start going up past level 50, and they need people to raid. They need other players to feed on. In return, those free-to-play players who are sitting at the bottom are getting pushed up much faster than we did a year ago because the whales are spending so much money to excel the content forward. So it's kind of a weird pond. There is this circular, I want to say, I'm trying to say something where it's not going to sound absolutely horrible, but the whales are feeding on the fish, and the fish are benefiting from the whales eating them. But then there's players like Riker who will purposely not go up, and we all know that there are a lot of players who are like that because they know that if they stay at a certain level, they can level out of a rating range. And that's what they're really going to play to. Although with territory space, that really, voids that out because anyone can get rated that's in territory. And so, I mean, going forward, I really do see that happening. I see that we are going to get level 50 plus content. I was talking to the guys in the Discord, and I want to get up to level 41, 42. And they were all freaking out. They're like, oh my God, that's going to be so much money. That's going to be so much money. And like I said, I don't mind spending on the game. I have a relatively fun time doing what I'm doing. And Psionica, you guys are in a special situation. I've been observing your Discord, and I would hate territories too. Um, but um, crap, I lost my thought. Riker, get off my miners, dang it. But going back to what I was going back to what I was saying, I think there is a lot of good that they're doing in the game. Right, level 41. So I don't mind spending on the packs. Like to get to level 40 right now, I just need to do an epic armada. I have the armada directives to do, so I'm waiting for the ascension event, and then I gotta buy a pack to get enough par, and that's going to be $100 pack. And the reason I want to get to level 40 is because level 40 players are getting everything I'm getting G3 wise, but they're getting double the resources, and they're getting 4-star common, 4-star uncommon, and more Latinum. And for me, that's a no-brainer. So I have no problem going to level 40. We have been looking at a lot of screenshots side by side, and it's just a no-brainer. And, for the longest time, a lot of players are like, well, you want to stay at level 39 because you don't get as much G3 in events as level 40. Well, the issue is they've put that G3 for level 40 players into the battle pass. And if you take a look at this is something that's tripping me up. If you take a look at the battle pass events, all right, I think somebody just asked a question. Do you think it's possible to spend $100 in something about your Saladin? I really don't hope you think you're going to max tier your Saladin with $100 pack, because that will not happen. But if we take a look at these events where we earn these battle pass points, these used to give rewards. Now they give nothing but battle pass. So all the rewards are being built into the battle pass itself. So Apollon, you mean you want to complete it, like tier it up, max tier it, or you actually just want to build it? Oh, well, it would depend, because I I think, I mean, it really depends on how many faction credits you have, how many blueprints you currently have of the Saladin, and how many you would need. So all those factors go into play with that. Psionica, I don't think he has a completed Saladin yet. I think he needs some more blueprints. So Apollon, if you don't have any blueprints of the Saladin, you're definitely not going to be able to buy a single $100 pack to build a Saladin. At least you never used to be. It would really depend at your level how many blueprints you're getting in. If they're offering a $100 Saladin pack, or if you look at your faction recruit packs, and you can take a look and see that way in your faction store how many blueprints you need times what the cost is, times versus how many faction credits you get in the faction recruit packs in the store. But like I was saying, at that level 39 level, there was really no reason to stay. So I'm going to go up to level 40. And I was taking a look at a couple of things in level 40. Going to take a lot of common 4-star, which is fine. And I don't really mind taking my time with it. What I really want to focus on is getting my jelly. Halfway there officially. I got 60. And I think I'm going to get 5 free for the next 30 and then buy 2 jelly packs for $200 each. So, or for $100 each, $200 total. And then I'll finally have my jelly. But I do want to get to level 41 and eventually 42. 41 is really going to extend. So Apollon, you say you have 40 and the pack will give you 50. So I think you would probably have to grind out another 10 or use your Vidar and grind out some faction credits. Hashtag Vidar is bomb. Make sure you max that thing as soon as possible. It will save your life. A lot. But so I'm just looking at getting to 41. My friend Turles from Server 32, who is on Sionica's team, he actually gave me a really good plan because I wasn't gonna go for the crap. Why can't I think of it right? For the Kelvin. Because I wanted the Katinga, because I don't have a Katinga. I don't have a battleship. I just have my Enterprise and my Saladin. Totally skipped the rare ships. They're totally worthless. No need to get them right now. And right now I'm being surrounded by Riker. How strong is your Enterprise? Oh, Riker, that's a cute baby Enterprise. Oh my god, it's just dorbs. But I never went for the rare ships. They're a waste of money. Don't go for them. Use your Saladin, carry it, let it carry you until you get your Enterprise. Yeah, so Turles was telling me to get my Kelvin, get it to tier 3 or tier 4. That'll get me about a warp 170. Launch my base into deep and dark space, and just grind level 42 ships, level 46 ships for the blueprints that are out there, and it should be relatively easy. And by that point, my jelly should be relatively high, along with my Kelvin. And so that is definitely like my long range thing that I definitely want to do. And like I said, I don't mind spending, but I'm not a crazy spender. I'm actually getting ready to adopt some rats. So that's where some of my money is actually going to go to. And I'm actually oddly more excited about that than I am about the game currently, which is sad. But so that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna take it at a casual pace. I might get a little impatient, might buy a couple of packs, and play it along. But I'm not one of those people that is shy about spending on the game. But I'm also not a PvP player. I'm not one of these people whose main focus is to get in the game and shoot people. Mainly because it's not my play style. I'm much more into collaborative gameplay than I am with working against other human beings in the game. And a big part of the game that I actually like to play is PvE, is reading some of the stories, even though I have multiple issues with how these stories are being written. Um, but yeah, I mean that's just kind of the way I like to play the game. I'll raid bases. That's probably the most PvP I actually like doing. Territory defense is like pulling nails to get me to do it because I absolutely hate it. Because the number one reason I hate territory defense The number one reason why I hate territory defense is because there is no strategy. I won't say there is none. There is incredibly zero to none strategy in in territory defense. It's whether or not you spent more than I did and you have a bigger ship and you will win. Now, the crew, when I'm actually fighting somebody in my power range, that is really cool. I like really learning that way of how officers are working differently. But typically, my good friend Patrick is always hitting me with his Kelvin. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is getting really old. Um, Riker. I didn't know if Dr. Renfield was going to hit you. Because Riker knows it's very dangerous to be in our territory. And he does not like to get hit. And so I'm just looking at my screen. Be careful, guys. Pa Keela said she's gonna come kill me when I do a live stream. Riker should be shivering about that one. But that's just kind of how I play. One thing I did want to mention, because I've been hearing this from several other players. Revdeuce said this. No one shall said that. DJ said this. Now keep in mind, when you watch a creator like myself or the others that I mentioned, everyone is going to play the game differently, which means they're all going to have different priorities in what they do. If you have a creator who says, don't invest in your faction miners, they're a waste of gas because you have so much research to do, I'm going to take a guess that they're not a mining player. And if you're a mining player and taking that advice, you're going to get screwed. And the reason I bring this up is because I know my voice and my videos are not for every player, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. As you guys can see, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I only have 2,700 subscribers versus Revdeuce, who has over 10,000. I don't push the whole please subscribe to my channel thing. I don't make videos for everyone. If somebody gets an attitude on my channel, I will call them out. I've done it before. If you don't like it, don't watch my videos. But also at the same time, I always try to build a community of gamers because I think that is in the heart of everything. That is what we do. And that's my channel. That's how I've built up what we have here. And I always like to have a safe environment for everyone. Now, not every content creator is going to be like that. And I just told you guys about 10 minutes ago, I'm not a big PvP player. So if a player goes, hey, what's a PvP crew for my auger? I'm like, I don't know. For one, I don't have an auger. And for two, I don't PvP all that much. And so if I tell you what the crew is, it's because I want to help you. And so I'll go and ask Psionica. I'll go and ask Talo. I'll go and ask Turles or Caution. Those are all the PvP players who just love it and go crazy and have done a lot of testing. And that's where I kind of get that information from. But like, if you're asking me something about PvE or armadas, those are the things I definitely do. I look at more. And I definitely have to start investing in my miners as well. So I just want you to be mindful of the advice you're getting from your content creators, making sure that if they tell you not to invest in a miner, you might want to look at another channel or another video to get a different perspective. So I definitely wanted to address that issue that I saw come up in the Discord. And speaking of which, if you're not in the Discord, I am definitely like busting my ass to keep to keep the conversation going in there. I always try to post gaming news of any kind, anything related to geek culture. We definitely have our designated Star Trek Fleet Command chat room in there where we talk about the game, talk about players, Like I always throw up screenshots of when players kill me, and I talk about them. Usually goodish, you know. Um, Sometimes bad, but oh, there goes Riker. But definitely check out the Discord. It is very overwhelming, I will tell you. There's a lot of channels because there's just a lot of little nooks and crannies that I like to address. If somebody wants a channel and talk about stuff, I'm more than willing to set it up for them because, like I said, I like to create that gamer community. So, with that being said, hopefully, Scopely is going to be releasing some more content that's going to raise more of a conversation. The reason being I haven't made any Star Trek Fleet Command videos is because I've been relatively bored in the game. The TOS arcs haven't been the most entertaining, and I don't want to do videos when we get new updates because you get eight to what I think there's like 8 to 15 content creators talking about the game update, giving you the same information, and I definitely don't want to add to that. I think that does very little. I like to, talk about things where I come up with topics and have that dialogue because I know how much you guys like to blow up the comments. So, with that being said, hopefully there's going to be some stuff coming up here. I definitely want to put some more games up, other games that I like to play that are a little bit more entertaining. So I'll probably end up doing those. But in the meantime, definitely join our Discord, join into the conversation. If you have video ideas, that's really the best way to get a hold of me. You can post a comment down below. I'll definitely try to respond to them. I just don't get a lot of notifications when people post comments, so I have to manually go back in here and read through the comments, which I definitely try to do and see how many people are trolling me on YouTube, which is always a blast. But other than that, I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate everyone watching this video tonight and being a participant in the live stream, even if they were hunting my miners. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I will talk with you later.